Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another video for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Hopefully by now, those of you that have Nintendo Switches have had a chance to sink some serious time into Mario Kart. I am absolutely loving it, and we had a pretty awesome tournament stream yesterday, so it's great to see so many people getting involved. However, what's even more awesome is that there are so many new people jumping in and checking out Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the first time, and that got me thinking. There are so many subtle tricks that the veteran Mario Kart players out there know and take for granted, but these are not all explained clearly in-game. So for anyone new on the block, then it's quite easy to fall behind the pack, at least until you know the tricks. So with that being said, here are 7 tips to help you win in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. If you do enjoy this and you do find it helpful, then a like would be super appreciated, and be sure to comment down below if you can think of any other tips that I haven't mentioned. Now, kicking things off with number 1, the start line boost. This is something that has been in Mario Kart as long as I can remember. But again, if you are new or you don't know about it, then you'll definitely have a significant disadvantage off the line. See, if you begin accelerating too early, then you'll stall your kart on go. And if you do it too late, then you'll just pull away at your regular acceleration pace, which does of course vary from kart to kart, but more on that later. However, if you hold down accelerate at exactly the right moment, then on go, you'll get a short boost. And while yes, it's still possible to catch up and win, if you don't do this, given how easy it is to pull off, there is no reason that you shouldn't be doing this every single time. So if you want to pull this off, then all you need to do is wait until the 2 drops down, and then you begin holding down accelerate. Again, as mentioned, do it before, and you'll stall, do it much later, and you'll just pull away normally. But if you do it right here, you have got your free boost. Next up, moving over to number 2, the jump boost. When you are driving around the track, you'll encounter jumps in various forms. Some are huge ramps, others are minor bumps in the road, and some are even slightly more obscure objects or creatures that you drive over. However, no matter what it is, if it's a jump, it can be used to give you a slight boost. See, if you tap R or ZR, basically any of the buttons that you typically use to perform drifts, just as you leave the jump, then you'll perform a small trick, and this trick results in a small boost. Depending on how high the jump is, the boost may occur in the air or when you return to the track, but either way, if you get into the habit of doing this on every single jump, no matter how big or small, then these small boosts soon begin to add up. There will even be situations where there may be a number of these mini jumps in close succession, and at times like that, you can really make some good ground. Moving on from there to number 3, collect those coins. While on the surface, they may seem to have rather limited uses, for the racer looking to shave seconds off their time, then every little thing matters. Coins as items have 3 main uses. They affect your top speed, they provide boosts, and they are used to unlock more karts, wheels, and gliders. So if for nothing other than the third one, you should still collect them because you want more karts and bikes to choose from, right? But returning to the first 2 points, they will also help you in the race. See, for every coin you collect, you get a slight increase to your top speed. You can hold a total of 10, and getting hit will see you lose coins. And while we might not be talking significant speed difference here, I'm not talking the difference between, say, 50 and 100 miles an hour, but again, for those looking to lead the pack, or just catch up if things didn't go your way, then every little thing helps. So where possible, try and hold on to 10 coins at all times, so you can be sure you're racing at your top speed. Furthermore, for every coin you pick up, you also get a very, very slight boost. Not the same as, say, a jump boost or a drift boost, but it's still a boost. So again, when every millisecond matters, these are going to help you out. So while it might seem annoying when you get nothing but coins in a box, remember they definitely have their uses. After that, jumping into number 4, your character and kart choices. First up, characters fall into one of 3 weight categories: light, medium, and heavy. This is important to understand for 2 main reasons. 1, the weight class will affect the player-to-player collision, and 2, it'll affect your racer stats. On the collision front, if a heavy character rams into a light character, then the light character will be pushed aside. So on tracks where there are no barriers, heavy characters can assert their dominance and push the little guys around. However, when looking at stats, this also has a difference. Typically, lighter characters have faster acceleration and better handling, while heavier characters might be slower off the mark and might be harder to handle, but they will have greater overall speed. And of course, medium weight characters are essentially your balance types falling somewhere in the middle. On the character select screen, you can tell this based on the size of the kart. Light characters have small karts, medium have, well, medium, and heavy have big karts. So examples being Shy Guy as a light character, the Inklings as a medium character, and Bowser as a big character. However, once you've chosen your character, you then need to choose your kart. On this screen, if you press the plus button, you can then bring up the stats. Now remember that all three things you select here will affect your overall stats: the kart, the wheels, and the glider. The easiest way to judge this is simply to shuffle things around until you find the stats you like. While it might seem like a good idea to always go for the fastest possible kart, remember to think about the tracks too. If your handling stat is super low, and you're about to race on Rainbow Road where there are minimal barriers and lots of turns, then that could result in some rather unfavourable outcomes. There are also bikes to consider too. I'm a bit of a purist, so I'll always prefer karts myself, but bikes are often known for setting some of the fastest time trials on the leaderboards, and they're both good in their own ways. What I will say, however, is that bikes have a much sharper turn circle, so if you spent the past, say, X number of hours racing in a kart, and you then switch to a bike for the first time, just be prepared to relearn the tracks a little bit. But, long story short, is that while some of the karts and bikes are better than others, I wouldn't say there's a singular best kart or bike. Everyone plays differently, so I'd say pick your karts based on the way that you race and the tracks you're racing on. Sometimes handling is more important than top speed, other times speed is all that matters. If you're new and you think you might be getting knocked around and mess up a lot, then acceleration will ensure that you can get back in the race quicker, so pay attention to the stats. Next up, jumping into number 5, using your items to defend you. As you race around the track, you'll grab items, and it's very tempting to use them shortly after getting them. I mean, it won't be long before you encounter another item box, right? So why hang on to it? Well, the short answer is defense. Most items that can be thrown, like shells, banana peels, even bombs, these items can also be held behind you. If you hold down L or ZL, instead of just pressing it, the item can then sit behind you. Whilst it's here, your back is largely protected. If a red shell comes homing in on you, then it will hit the item before it hits you, which saves you from the inevitable red shell fate. Bear in mind, it's not 100% guaranteed to protect you. I mean, if you are holding it behind you and you then drift around a corner, your side is exposed instead, so you can still be hit. But if you're driving down a straight, or you're making a beeline for the finish and you don't want to be tripped up, then it can save your life and your first place finish. Obviously, some items, there's not much you can do. I mean, holding an item behind you won't save you from a blue shell. There are certain items that can save you from the impending blue shell doom, like the music box as I like to call it, but that's hyper situational. So the main thing to remember is that if you don't need to use your item right away, just hang on to it behind you, because it will save you more times than you care to count. And if you do end up wanting to throw it, then you can still let go of the button, so it doesn't go to waste. Moving swiftly on to number 6, shortcuts. Now I did a dedicated video on this very topic, so I will keep this brief, but lots of tracks have shortcuts. In fact, pretty much every track has a shortcut in some way, shape or form. Some of them are small, simple corner cuts like this, using a boost to cut across a section of the track that would otherwise slow you down. They're great for catching up, or if you're in the lead, then they are great for widening the gap between you and the rest of the pack. But some shortcuts are a little bit more involved, and these will often require boost items. If you learn them, they'll give you the edge on the track, and again help you gain ground if you find yourself at the back of the pack after a streak of unlucky items. Of course, if you're racing on 200cc, then you have even more options as well. Some of those corner cuts that usually require boost items can simply be abused because you're driving so fast, but for this, it's just going to take time. Learn the tracks, practice, and you'll get it. But if you check out the video link down below, then that gives you a breakdown of pretty much all the shortcuts that are available. There might be a few I missed, but fundamentally, that'll set you on the right track. And then finally, in at number 7, drifting. Again, I mentioned this in passing in one of our more recent videos, but drifting, and more importantly, drift boosting, plays a huge part in Mario Kart. While fire hopping may not be present anymore in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and snaking as it used to exist is also a thing of the past, drift boosts still remain. Holding R or ZR and a direction, either left or right, will hop and then initiate a drift or a slide. This is a great way to corner because it not only allows you to hold a pretty tight line, but it also results in a boost too. See, depending on how long you hold the drift, you accumulate these coloured sparks behind you. Blue, then yellow, then pink. Letting go of a drift when these are behind you will result in a small boost. Blue gives you a boost for about 0.6 seconds, yellow for about 1.6 seconds, and pink for about 2.6 seconds. Pink is the new kid in the block, added in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, kind of like a replacement for fire hopping, so to speak. It's a little bit harder to achieve given the time you need to drift for it, so it's something you will predominantly see on long corners and hairpins where you have enough time to drift. But even without pink, it is easy, super easy, to get a blue and yellow boost on pretty much every corner in the game. And while there are certain situations where driving a straight line and hitting those apexes might seem more useful, knowing that you have a boost at your disposal simply from sliding around corners is also incredibly useful. So to reiterate, in case you are new to Mario Kart, hold down R or ZR and either left or right depending on which way you want to drift, slide into the corner, watch for the sparks, let go of the drift button, and boost out. Easy as that. And that, my friends, brings me to the end of the video. Those are my 7 tips to help you win races in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. All that remains is for you to go out and practice and just get better in the process. Again, if you're a veteran player, then these will already be ingrained in your mind by now, but if you're new and wondering why everyone else seems to magically have faster karts than you, then it's most likely the combination of all of the above that's giving them the edge. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you did, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know how you guys are enjoying the game so far. And thanks for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.